Ogre, I love you. Okay, so much.
Love
so
you
much,
too, brother.
How do we cover this all? I'm going to try not to be Mr. Crazy Rabbit Trail, like madman rabbit trail going on here, but there's been some mega things I've been all kinds of stuff I've been thinking on that I was going to go live earlier before this stream, but then it was like, whoa, they threw in a couple little monkey wrenches.
Mm-hmm.
How are you, Ogre? What's going on in the life of Ogre?
I'm doing great, man. I've been scooped up with Altera here, spending too much time on that and not enough time in DFK here the past few days.
And that's another thing, because you spoke with the team last week. You got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about there.
Yeah, it was pretty much stuff that was already known. Okay. I mean, I asked a little about guilds and how they were going to work in with the lands and like what was going to happen with all that. And just kind of feeling that out. That was more my objective there, to see how we could tie a guild in with the game as far as like,
yeah,
would it be worth it, like, to have a guild where you had to buy an NFT that was $20 and to access like the guild land, right? The guild land would have its own separate log on to where it could recognize an NFT or something like that. Just kind of trying to feel it out so that I don't go making a bunch of promises and building something or planning on building something that's not going to have any purpose. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yep. And there's going to be a lot more to come, I think, on that. Wowie, I want to get you on. Like, who knows? Maybe even tonight after the raffle or something, we got to do a fight club. We got to do fight club. I almost already messaged you, but dang, yeah, Alturia that he's talking about. Altura?
Yep.
Right? I mean, first thing in the description.
Sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. So much going.
Doggy.
Okay. So for me personally, the biggest amount of alpha drop today in the short term, I mean, obviously pets, we got a lot to talk about. All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wowie. Well, you know, if you're not working tonight, let's do it. Let's have a late nighter. Okay. Fight Club, baby. I'm loving what's going on with Fight Club. That's a whole nother thing.
Dude, yeah. Okay. Fight Club is picking up.
Right. So lots to talk about with pets. And I want, you know, that's a deep dive there. Mm-hmm. Also, okay, so I've been thinking big brains about stuff and got a couple things I want to share with you here. So for one, it looks like Profession 10 level questing and the hatching of green eggs is delayed. Although they didn't necessarily say that, but that it basically is because we were predicting it to maybe come in December or even early December. Or even late November, possibly. I remember the way they were talking. But I think, so I asked Hubert, and, you know, he talked about it, but then I just kind of asked him ETA, like, what's a good idea? He's thinking at the soonest at the end of this month. So we're probably, give or take, around 3 weeks away. Mm-hmm. Sure. You know, I guess that could be what.
Well, I mean, it's important to understand, right? This is not only does it take time to build a regular game, any software you build, you're going to have unexpected like trip ups and things that you're going to have to find ways around that mountain or up over that hurdle. You know what I mean? But in this case, like, they can't just go to Google and find the answer, right? If something doesn't work right, they got to figure that out.
Right. And so
brand new stuff. They're entrepreneurs.
That's right.
Entrepreneurs and explorers.
This is life in crypto. This is how it goes. Well, and the first delay was the Clayton blockchain, you know, issues there. And so this always happens. This always comes up. No worries at all whatsoever.
And go check out some of the other projects out there and look at their look at their trip ups and their estimations and see how often things actually go to plan and on schedule. Like, whenever I hear in the blockchain space, since I've been playing these games for like 4 or 5 years now, good God.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Whenever any project gives me a date, I basically double it just off the top of my head. So that way I do expectation management on myself and I'm not disappointed if there is something that bumps it back, because there often is in all these projects and the blockchains too. Like, DFK is not alone in this.
Yeah, right. Totally. So, okay. So this is where I was kind of thinking, like, maybe even this week we would see it launched or next week. Okay. So think about this for a second. There's currently approximately, and I would love it, iOS code and you guys, whoever who's in the chat. Okay, if we can get the actual numbers here, approximately 36 to 38,000 green eggs in existence currently. There's over, I want to say, did Rock say like 110 or 112,000 gardeners in existence currently. Half of those are, I'm guessing, are going to be profession 10 level questing ready.
You think half of the gardeners in existence, the heroes themselves, will be ready for level 10?
Yeah, because to get to profession level 10 only takes about 3 weeks, give or take, of questing.
No, that's assuming you're questing 3 times a day, twice a day.
Yes, that's true. Okay, let's just say it's 50,000. 50,000 are ready for profession 10 level questing.
A lot of them.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure.
Continue. I'm
sorry.
We
weren't 100% sure. We weren't 100% sure, but we're pretty sure that's 110,000 gardeners who are alive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we know a lot of those are still on like Harmony, and stuff. So, but how many are probably still in Harmony? Like what, 10,000 maybe?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to get all the data.
I have a feeling if they're still on Harmony, though, they might just stay on Harmony. Like at this point, the people that are playing the game and bridging stuff have already bridged it for the most part. So there's going to be a lot of people in these games. Like there's games that I jumped into and just kind of gave up on because it took forever, or I got moved on to something else. So
they forget about it. Even they forget how to even access it. So you got to be careful in a bear market. Don't fall asleep. Don't go away. And then, Ryan, who's one of my favorite guys, OG in the channel since the beginning, he was like, hey, I'm done with crypto, but I will come back in the bull run. I did that last time. I was fortunate to mostly find everything that I had scattered abroad, everywhere. Okay. And and then I didn't even know Cryptopia got hacked. I had coins there. I didn't know that coins, what was it? One of the exchanges I had some crypto on also just went under and I couldn't get the crypto off that. And I didn't even know. So I come back in the bull run. All of a sudden I'm excited about crypto again after I'd fallen asleep on it for like a year or something. Okay. And, I'm just finding out this stuff happened like a year ago. It was so I was way behind on everything. Could have been so much better off. For so many different reasons. Okay, so you don't want to do that. You want to hang in there. Okay, so definitely back to alpha. Okay, so let's just say there's 50,000 gardeners ready to for profession 10 level questing. So there's only 38,000 green eggs. Okay. And we know the tiers are borderline deflationary right now. And especially when those eggs come to hatch. Okay. To hatch half that is going to be 8 million tiers. Half those green eggs.
I'm surprised nobody asked that in the AMA today.
Well, they've been asking a lot about tiers lately.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of questions about that. Okay. So I'm super bullish on tiers because of that. But also so when this stuff comes, when profession 10 level quests come, we're going to want to have pets for that, for the XP boost. Okay. And especially pets that aren't common pets, like 1-star common pets. We're going to want, and so a lot of the pets in existence right now. Okay. So we were looking at it yesterday on Rock's show again. And yes, tiers are ready to take off. Okay. So also there's currently, I believe, 36,000 pets total in existence and approximately 125,000 foragers and fishers. 250,000 foragers and fishers in existence combined, but only 36,000 pets. Okay. So the demand for pets Now there's a lot of unhatched green and gray eggs. And I think that number was like even more than the green eggs, maybe even still unhatched.
Right.
So that hatching all of the existing eggs would more than burn away all the tiers we have in existence today.
We put a hurting on it, that's for darn sure.
Okay. So what's everybody doing? Here's what everybody's doing. They're not doing training quests. They're doing profession quests. Okay. Because you get the tiers. So for one, it drives up the value of our heroes, including our floor heroes, our questers, right? And then, so with that happening, I'm guessing, I'm just totally speculating, the number of gold being minted right now is like 10% or something of what it was, like a couple weeks ago. So we got way less gold coming into existence right now. And
that's
way
really cool.
So it was like a month or two ago, they at least cut in half, or maybe even like a third drop rates for the lesser crystals. The lesser crystals are way less. So I had all my heroes on the same wallet.
Could I throw something in here before you FOMO somebody into doing something stupid?
What's that?
I said, could I throw something in here before you FOMO somebody to do something stupid? Nerfs are coming, right? They will balance this. They see this. They know that the gold and the tiers are short. Well, so be very careful. Like if you want to do like a degen, like speculative play now and scoop them up thinking they're going to go up and be higher next week, you're taking a risk, right? Because they may nerf it next Wednesday. So be careful there.
Yeah, everything's a risk, but I don't know, Ogre, because if you look at the value of gold right now, okay, gold is like the number one, maybe most depreciated asset in the game. Okay. At one point, it got almost to $1. It was like over 90 cents.
That's insane.
Do you remember that? Don't you remember?
Honestly, I never really paid attention to the value of the mats because I wasn't planning on selling them and I wasn't like doing any arbitrage there. I was just stacking them up.
And then I remember then it dumped down to like 40 cents and I bought a bunch and it went back up to like 88 cents. It doubled in a short period of time. Okay. So when you look at this, gold right now is okay. It's a small fraction of 1 penny.
A very small fraction.
Okay, we're talking. This is $0.00091. Okay, so it's $0.0091. Now, yesterday it was 8.2 because I bought a bunch.
So about 1,000 gold to a penny.
Yes. That's right. Just under 1,000.
No, I'm sorry, 100. Right? Because you need to move because it's almost at 0.001. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
About 100.
Okay. Almost getting there.
Yeah.
Per penny. Okay, so that is like 99.99999% down. And
it doesn't have a lot of use case right now, right? I mean, that's going to happen. We're going to see a lot of fluctuations and speculation as the game is built out, as we hear about stuff they're going to launch. People are going like, ooh, will they use gold for that? Possibly. I'm going to buy a bunch up now. And then you're waiting like 5 days after it launches, it'll drop back down, right?
Let me finish my
I'm sorry
here because I'm kind of like walking down a mental track here.
Go for it.
Like, so I don't, because I'm the rabbit trail king. I'm the worst. So sorry. Okay. So gold currently is drastically being reduced on the minting rate right now. Okay. And so it makes me think we probably found a bottom on gold, because when we go to hatch the eggs, to hatch all the current existing eggs is going to be, I think, over, like especially if we count yellow and gold eggs, we're talking over 300 million gold burned out of existence. Right? Because we're going to want to do the boon. Gaia's boon, because the tiers are going to keep, I'm guessing, again, it's Ogre, good point there, all speculation. the tiers are going to keep pumping. So it makes a lot of sense to do the boon. It makes 0 sense, especially to do the favor. To do the boon is 5,000 gold per egg. So if you do the math on 30, I think it's 38,000 gold or green eggs, just green eggs alone, that times 200 gold, or I mean 5,000 gold, 38,000 times 5,000. Oh my gosh, off.
I'd be careful there. I think that's going to be a ridiculously high number and unrealistic, because I don't think everybody's doing Gaia's Boon. I mean, I know that some of us will, and some of us like do it all the time, but not everybody can, right? And a lot of people don't necessarily see the value in it. They want to save those mats. So, I mean, yeah, a lot. Go ahead with your number, because it's going to be a high one. And it's going to be a scary one. But
actually, that's okay. That's 25 million.
That can't be right.
Yeah, 25 million gold.
5,000 times what? How many?
5,000 times 38,000. I thought it was.
Yeah, I got 190 million.
109. I think the calculator couldn't even handle all the digits. Okay.
1,000 times.
Yes, lots of warnings about being careful. This is right. This is right.
Yeah. So 190K, 190 million.
Okay. So, all right. So that's just one aspect. So then PvP is coming. So I can tell you this. I've been doing a lot of Fight Club, okay, like for the raffle tickets. And we also have our AI teams in there. But when I'm in Fight Club and I'm like trying to competitively win the raffle tickets, guess what I've done to some of my heroes?
What's that?
Stampotted them to get them leveled up, to get that HP. To get those stats, to get that dex.
Yep.
Okay.
I think we'll see a lot of that once, like hopefully if the PvP comes out from Wisdom and it really catches on, I think we'll see a lot of people stampotting.
A lot of stampotting. So it wasn't too long ago. I was just talking with O'Cool the other day. O'Cool, baby. And I remember I was competing against him in the contest every day. I mean, he was kicking my ass pretty much back then. But we were always both on there. And I was the more time went on, the more I was. Then I started beating them every time. You know, that was fun. Okay, so okay, so and back then when the contests were going, there was a lot of stampots going, a lot of stamina potions being used. Okay, and when stamina potions being used, so when we go to do combat, so with combat is I guess going to be a big source of XP, bigger than even Profession 10 level quest. And I think Hubert dropped, I think Afex Effects sent me the message where Hubert, I think there's more of an emphasis for XP for PvE than for PvP, but also PvP will be a source of XP. Okay. And so I think it's going to use stamina, and there'll probably be limitations on it. So we might be able to do like 10 combats a day, but we got a team of 3. You know, you got 3 boss heroes. You're going to be using 30 stampots a day, like us junkies. And then we're going to want another team of 3, and we're going to be using 30 stampots a day, getting all that extra, you know, PvP combat, but also getting XP like in a substantially higher rate than profession quests. And then, you know, you're going to summon a mythic Dark Knight, you know, or something, and who's with an elite ability, and you're going to want to stampot that mofo from level 1 all the way up to level 15, like the junkies we are. Okay, and so every time a stampot, 3,000 gold, 10 tiers. We're going to have the milkweed. Okay, all the milkweed is seriously down. So the milkweed, okay, is also, it's less than a penny. Just under a penny. Okay. So at one point when Jewel was a lot more, when Jewel was like $1, you know, milkweed was it got up at one point to 0.6 Jewel.
Wow.
You know, so we're talking like milkweed used to be 60 cents, you know, I'm just talking in the summer, that like earlier summer, not too, which seems like still to me, not like like a few months ago, but
well, I mean, we were in a bear market, but the game had just launched, so we had like an artificial bull market in the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem for like the last year and a half, right? So, well, not the last year and a half. I guess it probably all stopped last spring, so like maybe 6 to 8 months there.
Yep.
But yeah, so I mean, once a bull market comes back, I think we'll definitely see some movement.
Well, I know, but just out of like organic demand, in-game demand, stamp pots are going to become majorly in demand. Which means milkweed, gardening item, swift thistle, gold. So not only are we going to have pet hatching, so we're all going to want awesome pets, and there's not even enough pets or eggs in existence to even support the number of heroes for profession 10 level questing. And I think it's like not even very close. So, and I'm going to get with some guru who can look all that stuff up for me, and I'll have them on the show.
I mean, honestly, unless they nerf it, I see them getting more and more rare because we can summon a lot more heroes than we can pets. Like it's a lot easier every 3 days with a pair of heroes can make a new one, right?
That's true. But as we level our heroes up and get more luck, then you get way more eggs.
Fair.
So I get several eggs a day, and so the more summoning you do, the more eggs you're going to get all of that. So and profession 10 level quests come, and the tiers will have a better drop rate for profession 10 level quests, which is all the more reason we're going to want eggs, and pets. So I think the value of eggs. So currently I was looking to one green egg. In fact, it's on here. One green egg is 7.3 joule.
Wow.
Versus, and that's like 17 crystal or something. So versus the number of tiers to hatch any, doesn't matter if it's Gaia's boon or Gaia's favor, it's the same. That's the biggest expense in hatching a pet is the tiers. And even if you do Gaia's favor, this is why you might as well, 90% of us are going to be doing Gaia's boon, because it makes zero sense to do anything else, because the number one cost is the tiers, which is the same price in favor. So I think, so a thought I was having, and effects and AP, Aaron Price, we were all having was, hey, I've got 120 green eggs. I'm not going to hatch all those. I'm going to sell some of those and just buy the pets I want, right? Because there's not enough pets to even supply. I want to say like 60% of the demand for the pets.
Yeah, so, I would say that the ones that are like rare and above, they're probably going to be pretty valuable pretty quickly.
The floor has doubled,
but I see it coming.
Yes, the floor on those have easily doubled in like a week. And I bet Brown Gent knows that. So it's like, whoa, wait a second. So the value of the eggs are also going to skyrocket. And again, speculation. I'm just thinking out loud. This is what I'm thinking to myself, and I'm sharing it with you.
All right.
So
you just need to have like an intro, like this says, never financial advice.
Never financial advice.
I am speculating. If you do what I say in this, just because I said it, you're an idiot.
You might lose
your own research.
I said during the summer, I said like in August, I said that I thought gold was going to 5x, and instead it went down like 80%. So you might, that was probably my biggest blunder. We've nailed a lot of stuff though. We have nailed a lot of stuff, but my biggest blunder was, but I think gold's bottom is in, because so in the short term, we're just going to have a huge liquidity supply squeeze of these items. So specifically gold, tiers will keep coming hard when and again, it's delayed. So this is delayed 3 weeks, but if that's good for a lot of people. All right. Because you can start thinking about this. Just think on this when you go to bed, and be glad that it didn't happen today where they launch Profession 10 level quest or something, because holy smokes, because we're going to want to be utilizing pets. And so, okay. So, but that's delayed. You've got extra time. You've got extra time to think on this. So when Profession 10 level quests come, we're going to want to do it. I think we're going to want to get
why wouldn't
double or
so
triple
I can
the
take my hero,
XP.
send them off for 4 hours and earn 50 cents maybe, or I can send them off for 4 hours and they come back with $5 worth of stuff.
That's right.
That's a hard toss up, and those numbers are not accurate. I just made them up for a 10x.
We're going to want to get more tiers, you know, in our questing, and Keyword has already said increased drop rate of tiers. Well, how do we do that? We got to buy the pets and hatch the eggs. That's the first step. Then combat's coming. Okay. Now there could be delays, but it's supposed to be in Q1. Now that, who knows, that might not come till April or May. No problem. Okay. But when that comes, holy smokes, it's going to have the effect that it's even had on me a little with Fight Club. And so, and this is where it just really hit me, because, you know, I burned through on some of my heroes quite a lot of stamina pots here recently. And then I put in my AI teams. And when you put in the AI teams, it's like in there for good, you know, for the most part, or for a long time. So I don't have to worry about it after that. So I get my hero, I find the right batch of heroes that I want to make, and then I stam pot them, okay, and get them where they want. Or I have, you know, I was doing that for the tournament, stam potting heroes. So just imagine, that's just Fight Club, you know, with 60 of us in there doing a tournament and stuff. Just imagine when hundreds of us are doing combat. And we're, you know, and it looks like, from everything I can see, they're doing a phenomenal job on this game. The devs are doing a phenomenal job on this game. Absolutely brilliant. Okay. But we can hit on some pushback to that, because there's maybe some people not happy about some of the alpha that was dropped today in the AMA.
I'm sure there are. I actually know of at least one person who's been speculating hard on pets, and she's not amused.
But still, even with a couple of the things, it was like, you know, it was very bullish. 90%. I was pumped. So, okay. So there's more.
Wow, a triple mythic bonus mythic Leviathan? Then holy crap. Congrats on that one, Starbuck.
Oh, baby. Yeah. So I hatched another 9-star mythic last night. So that's my second one this week. And I just hatched the eggs as they come in. So I was so pumped with that one. So I've hatched 2 triple-star mythics this week, a merman and a whelp. So, okay. And I've hatched a lot of legendary pets here recently. So we're going to hit on that here in a second.
So do you want to do some speculation real quick?
Yeah.
I know before it almost sounded like the pets, we're going to like be able to level them up and they were going to get better, right? And not just be static. This is what it is, period. Like I envisioned, like, if you read the back of the cards, right? You got like the wolf pups, you got the Dreamstone wolf pup, you got the Emerald wolf pup, and then you've got adult versions. I assumed, and I know others did as well, that we're going to be able to grow those babies up into the big ones. And from what they were saying today, I don't know that I think that anymore. Like, they made a comment about like the unique variations that they like, there's not really going to be any use to them. They're just collectibles, right? They're the visual only. So if that's the case for the rare variations, I don't know. I mean, they didn't say we're not going to be able to like level them up or grow them up or anything like that. So we might be able to, but it's a question there, right?
Yeah, that's something I haven't thought a ton about, except today it did cross my mind. Like, you know how some of the pets are like a wolf pup versus a full-grown wolf. And it even talks on the back of the card when it grows up. You know,
and if you look, the 3 different adult flavors have baby flavors.
Yeah, Tagua babies. That's interesting. So I imagine maybe there'll be something like that where they got to grow up or mature. But and so it's okay. So should we finish the thought on item speculation and move on to pets?
Sorry, if you want to, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to railroad.
No.
Okay.
That was So good. So I think I had a couple more thoughts to that, but in summary, then the pet's got to be fed, right? So I'm just uber bullish on items. And so guess what I did last night? I became the liquidity king once again. I got a little bit out of some of my pools, you know, selling off some of the jade. Not all of them though. I'm glad not all. But I want to get all the way out of jade here soon. I just don't know when. But I don't know, because we were wondering too. Maybe crystal pumps back up to where jade is now.
I mean, if you look at what happened today, crystal and jewel rose, and jade kind of stayed flat. So I think that it all depends upon granddaddy Bitcoin, right? That everything in crypto revolves around Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin starts going up and people are speculating that we're about to go in massive green spike, they sell out of everything else so they can get that Bitcoin so they can catch that spike.
Yeah.
A lot of times they lose.
Yeah,
the way it plays out. So but then as Bitcoin really goes up, it drags everything else with it too. So I mean, I don't know.
A ton of people today lost because there was massive short liquidations that's been going on for the last 24 hours because DCG got served up from the SEC of being a unregistered security, whatever offerings or whatever they're doing. And
what? DCG got hit with that? I missed that. Oh, I didn't.
Okay, so everyone starts shorting the market, and then what does Bitcoin do? It pumps. So when it's going down, it actually means it's going up, and when it's supposed to go up and moon, it means it's going down. It's like with leverage trading. What the heck? I can't stand leverage. Yes, chaos for the win. Yeah, so Rock, for example, a guy like a Rock. Okay, he has one pet now because he bought it yesterday, like live on stream. Because I went on live with Rock yesterday. Awesome conversation. And so we were talking about a lot of this. And so there's just going to be, there are some people that have just been like holding off from hatching their eggs. So there's still a ton of gray and blue eggs on top of the green eggs. I mean, that's literally going to wash out every single tier in existence.
Will it though? I mean, I can't imagine they're going to.
They'll let it 16 million tiers right now in existence. Period. Just to hatch all the eggs, and I bet a lot more tiers are lost on Harmony because the drop rate used to be 5x more than the drop rate of tiers now, and a lot of people that left the game, they probably have thousands of tiers sitting in there that at one point was practically worthless.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they come back to the game, they're going to come back to so tiers are I think you're right. For like a season, just for a season, tiers are just going to become like the OP item in the game. Okay. But then, that might change and it might become some other item. Like it's always been milkweed. Well, it might become blue stem.
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna. I mean, as things come about, it's all gonna. Everything works in waves, right?
Yes.
So right now, the cool stuff is the stuff we can actually use. But as they develop the game more, I mean, once we start doing the crafting and we can make like weapons and armor, that's gonna make whatever materials those require go up all of a sudden, and then we're gonna have buildings come around in our land, and we're gonna need other stuff. So like, the mats are all gonna go back and forth. I mean. If you really want to speculate, I'd say grab some of the mats that have no use right now and just sit on it for 6 months, and then they might have some value. Again, not financial advice, but
yes,
if you really wanted to, like that's something that I would look at if I was saying, okay, well, I want to drop like $50 in here and like come back in 6 months and have it be more than that. Those mats that aren't being used right now would be a good place to drop it. Just saying, in my mind, anyways. In my mind.
Oh, they won't grow. They are what they are. Yeah, people are saying they don't think that pets will level up in any way. That's interesting. Okay, so all this was hitting me. All this was hitting me hard last night, like a ton of bricks, because like specifically even real world, I was like experiencing just naturally. Like I didn't even think in my mind that I was buying stamina pots and going to the alchemist and making stamina pots. I was just doing it because I just want to get some of my guys leveled up real quick for Fight Club. Okay, when a natural flow of things happens in an ecosystem, okay, that's just a tiny example of what I know I'm going to be doing in PvP and combat. Okay. Is I'm going to want to have like these jacked heroes and go against all the big dogs out there and smoke them and beat the whales and this and that. I'm going to be like, bring it. And the guilds,
right?
hey, then we got land. Yeah, that's right. That's right. All ships rise when the tide comes in.
Right. But it goes out right before it comes in.
Remember
that. It'll go down as Bitcoin starts to spike. And I think we kind of saw that towards the end of the day a little bit.
And that's what we've been experiencing over these last several months of just the value of everything being so unbelievably diminished in the game.
I think it's just been a risk-off environment, right? I mean, because it's not just DeFi Kingdom, it's all crypto, it's stocks. Like, just the market itself has been a risk-off environment. And when you get so going into a layer 1 chain, that's an investment. When you go into like a layer 2 project on top of that chain, it's almost like doubling down in blackjack, right? Because the swings in value are almost like 2x. Because when so let's go back to Harmony 1, because I remember when it happened there, like 1 pumped relative to 1, Jewel pumped also. So it was like a double pump, and it just freaking mooned. It was insane.
Yes.
There was so much speculation back then. It was ridiculous.
Yes. And so when there's no more speculation, like when the real game comes, when PvP actually comes, when all these things, all the use cases actually come. Yeah, because then we're going to have crafting and PvE. And the crafting, there's some people that are so stoked about the crafting. Almost even, it surprised me because I was kind of like, Brown Gent and I were talking at one time few weeks ago, like, hey, when I'm looking for a pet, if I get a mythic pet with a triple questing and a triple combat, that's what I want, because so I don't, in the past, I haven't paid as close attention to the triple mythic in the crafting part of the pet. Okay. But some people are like, that might be the most valuable part of the pet. And I'm like, what?
So there's all sorts of stuff being kicked around, but I did hear some people speculate that it may be the case to where there's the crafting, right? And those require like an NPC. So you give the NPC the stuff and then come back after a time and you get your thing. I have heard some people speculate that there's a possibility that you might be able to rent those heroes out. So if you've got a really good crafting hero and you're not using it right now, rent it out so that other people can use your awesome hero to craft their stuff. So you strap a super awesome pet on there and poof, you just got more rental value.
Yep.
Now, that's not necessarily going to happen. That's speculation.
Yeah, I love it.
I've heard that kicked around. It'd be cool.
But guys that own land like you, things like that, you're going to want to be building the buildings, with the, woodworking guys. Probably you might need pets for all that stuff. And it might be super important, to have a good pet.
Possible.
Okay. So my comment to this is the team occasionally does make changes like this, but I don't see this one happening. What I do see happening is a higher tier drop rate from Profession 10 level questing.
Oh, definitely. This should be higher drop rates of everything.
And then as we continue to level our heroes up, what does that mean? We quest better, which means we get better items, which means we get more XP or more items. Okay. And so I think so I'm just talking, there's going to be short-term little crunches like we see all the time. And then we see massive pumps of things. So what I did last night was I aped into gold. Like I bought millions of gold, which
you are the reason they put the cautions on the AMA today about speculating and nerfing. I don't know that, but it'd be funny. I could see that happening.
No, they were. So Hubert, and they're very they're in a position where they have to be really risk mitigate stuff on speculation. Yep. So they're going to always be careful to not drive the market with these AMAs.
Well, of course. I mean, they'd be doing a disservice to the community if they didn't have that in mind. And I love the fact that they do.
Right. And so I love how they do that. And then it's our job to come in and kind of then take what they say and
speculate on what it means.
Yeah, speculate. But see, what's happening here is that it will no longer be speculation when these things go live.
True story.
And I was thinking right around the corner, based off what Beetle Dude said a couple months ago, even, or a month ago, with a lot of talk with the profession 10 level quest. But again, the Clayton blockchain, there's some. I think Hubert said they have to rework a lot of the profession 10 level quest. So I think they've almost had it ready for quite a long time, actually.
I think that, yeah, I've seen a good bit of that. They've mentioned that a few times that, yes, Clayton is EVM, just like DFK chain, but it's not the same chain. Like, there's different technology underneath it. Otherwise, it'd be the same chain. So, yeah, there's definitely some interesting stuff going on there, and that's throwing a wrench in everything they do. It makes launch harder because have to now build something for one chain and then figure out why it's broken on the other one, troubleshoot it, go back, fix it, redeploy it, test it, and try again. And again, they can't go to YouTube to figure out how to do that. They have to figure it out on their own because they are, doggone it, the word is evading me.
Yeah.
They're like people, explorers, but not explorers. That's going to irritate me. I hate it when that happens.
You're good.
I love you. I love you too, brother.
Ogre, I love you so much, man. So
it's because we're too damn similar, brother. That's the problem.
I know it.
My brother from another mother.
Oh, so we got way more liquidity, and I did it with gold, a ton of it with gold. Okay. And I put a ton of liquidity for all the items, including gold, on Serendale 2.0, because that was so lacking in liquidity. And so I'm just interested to see do screenshots, but it's weird. A lot of times it doesn't show up.
A question: you don't earn anything off of those, do you?
You
do?
Baby. Oh baby, you do. So let me show you what I've earned on this one. Let's take a look. Let's see where we're at. Okay, so on December 24th, I put in, I'll zoom in a little more. Okay, now this is though crystal and tiers. Interesting. Look, that's tiers. So yesterday, this was up to almost 2,500. It was at 24, almost to 24.90, like 24.89. Okay. And I think I had 417 crystal, and I initially put in 2,353 tiers. And so I initially put in 417 crystal and 2,353 tiers. So I'm up almost 100 tiers, and I'm up almost 20 crystal. That was on December 24th.
Wow.
Less than a month. So we're talking 3 weeks. I'm up 20 crystal, and I'm up almost 100 tiers. So that's from the trading fees and the slippage and things. So then I also did a bunch of tiers with gold too, which just helps the overall liquidity. So I think it just makes more sense to put our liquidity for the items in with gold but the problem is gold is scarce now all of a sudden. So, but it does make sense because you're better off probably putting your jewel and crystal and jade in the gardens, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And if you want to, if you want to hold your items, and if you're bullish on items coming up, okay, like I am, and you just want to hold them, well, you might as well create the liquidity and do it with gold, and then see what can happen. So Ogre, about like 6 or 7, 8 months ago, I put in liquidity with milkweed on Serendale 1.0. And I was the liquidity king back then. And I am again except the eggs, I couldn't do the liquidity for gold and eggs because it was wonky. So actually though, I'll look at that here in a second. But with the milkweed, so back in those days, all the liquidity just passed through Jewel. Okay. And so there's just one path for all the liquidity in the game, pretty much. And so now if you go, somebody might want to go buy some tiers with gold. Somebody might want to go buy tiers with jewel. Somebody might want to go buy tiers with crystal. Somebody might want to go buy tiers with jade. And there's liquidity for all of those items. So if you're providing liquidity, now those interests are divided. Okay. So if I want to buy tiers, TEARS, this is important. Where'd it go?
DFK.
I'm too zoomed in, I think. Command. Okay. Tiers. Okay. And let's say I want to buy 1,000 tiers. Okay. So look at the pathway right here. Currently,
the crystal. Yeah. Let's scroll down some more.
Can't see it on the screen. Zoomed in. Dang it, I can't. Okay. So the pathway, we just saw it. Where'd it go?
Still can't see it. It's down at the bottom. Maybe if you move Haitian buffets, can you deselect that? Might be able to see it.
Yeah, it's not blocking me on the screen, but yes, I will. Okay.
Nope, it still doesn't show it. You got to zoom out a little more.
All right, hang on.
It was below that liquidity provider fee.
Right. Huh. It just kind of like went away.
That's weird.
Yeah. Dang it. The pathway. So
you have insufficient balance. Maybe there it is. Crystal.
Yeah, there it is. So, that's weird. Look at this. So now this pathway goes from crystal. So, okay.
That doesn't make sense.
When it doesn't show a pathway, that means you have, you don't have to take that extra step. So right now,
yeah, but hold on a second. That doesn't make any sense. It goes from crystal to jewel to DFK tiers.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do jewel, it goes jewel to crystal to DFK tiers.
Well, I think the automated market maker did it fixed it. See, now it's just straight from jewel to tiers. That's why it's not there. It's just not.
Well, it's also maybe because of insufficient balance. Maybe just do 5 jewel worth. See what happens.
Well, that's different because it probably has enough liquidity regardless. So if I did crystal,
now it's not even showing it there.
Yeah. So it's because
maybe it was because there wasn't sufficient liquidity.
Yeah. So it goes from currently now there's more liquidity with jewel and tiers than any other pool. That's what this tells you. Now, if you do gold, you do the same thing with gold. Okay. You want to buy 1,000 tiers. Oh, wow. Okay. See, it just fixed itself. That's the automated market maker working. For a second, it was taking you straight from gold to tiers. And then the slippage was 10%. And then the automated market maker kicked in and created the path where it goes from gold, then to jewel, then to tiers. Well,
I bet that's what it's telling you. I bet it's splitting it intelligently so that it doesn't hit any one pool. Mm-hmm. And that's why even when you reverse it and go from one to the other, like so jewel to crystal to DFK gold, and then you have crystal to jewel to DFK gold. What that's telling you is, in my mind, from what we just did, I see, okay, well, what it's saying is it's letting me know that half of this is going to go into a separate pool because there's one pool. If I just send it all through there, it's going to spike the slippage. So I'm going to split this into 2 or 3 pools, or 2 pools. DFK gold to tiers and jewel to tiers.
I don't think it actually splits the pools.
You don't think so?
No, it doesn't. So that's why a lot of times it's a good idea to don't buy it all in one buy. Because if let's say you wanted to buy 10,000 tiers, okay, instead of buying 10,000 tiers, now the slippage, which is called price impact, is 18%.
Which means you're going to change the price of it 18% in between the first one you buy and the last one you buy.
That's so right. You're literally
18% more expensive than what you're seeing right here.
That's right. So so when I was buying gold last night, I bought up all those. I was just buying it 100,000, 200,000, 400,000 here and there. Okay. Throughout the night, because, it was letting the market adjust temporarily. And then I would do a big buy again. Because there's not enough liquidity to buy that much. There just wasn't on either chain.
Right.
And it's not like I could only do about $12 worth of gold per buy. and that was like a 5% price impact.
Bro, I hope you put a lot of that back. Did you put a lot of that back into liquidity? Because if not,
all back in.
All right, cool. I was gonna say you just killed all the pools.
Yeah, right. So this is what helps make the ecosystem thrive when you do things like this. And so, but kind of my point is if this guy who has somebody, you know, out there probably has a huge pool of jewel in tiers, if he instead put in, if we all as like a community kind of came together and said, hey, let's do gold in all the items, then gold would be the pathway through everything. That way we all benefit, because I created a liquidity pool with gold and tiers. I do not benefit on this trade. So that's why back when I was 38% of the liquidity back on Harmony with Jewel and Milkweed, in 8 weeks, Ogre, in 8 weeks, I almost like quadrupled the amount of milkweed I got, and I got almost double the amount of Jewel in 8 weeks. So I think it just happened to be a time where there was low liquidity and high volume. I just
I mean, when that happens, people talk about illiquid loss all the time, right? There's such a thing as illiquid gains, and it all depends upon the price of when you get into the pool versus the price of when you get out of the pool. If the price of one or especially both tokens is lower when you get out of the pool, you have some illiquid loss. But if both of those tokens are up, or even one is significantly up, you've probably got some gains there just from sitting in it. Not so, just to be clear, the APR that it sounds like you're talking about, you're not actually getting any jewel or anything like that. You're not getting any rewards from the game. You're just getting some illiquid gains because it happened to be really low when you put it in, right?
Yeah, from the trading fees. So the trading fees, when you provide the liquidity, and especially when there's low liquidity and high volume, that slippage, okay, there's a massive, that is like a huge increase of fees, essentially, that's also happening, that you're getting rewarded a percentage of every trade every time. So my number of milkweed went from, I don't know how many thousand or tens of thousands of milkweed that I had in there. That's more than tripled or quadrupled or something, the amount of milkweed. And then the amount of jewel that I had in the pool, like almost doubled. And I'm purely going off memory. I just remember not believing it. I just couldn't believe it, how well it performed. And there are tools out there, I think, where some like Faulty Poker and those guys used to like say, hey, we're getting 60% on the bloater fish now, you know, like in liquidity, where he could actually look up based off the fees and liquidity and the trading volume, you know, it's all an estimation. But I got like thousands of percent interest.
So just to clarify, yeah, it is impermanent loss. Did I say it incorrectly?
No, I think you said it right, didn't you?
Okay, I'm not sure. Shags Dibs dropped impermanent loss in there, and I don't see where they posted before. So I'm assuming I said it incorrectly. But yes, for clarity, it is impermanent loss or impermanent gains.
Yeah. And as a community, we might not agree on this, and that's okay. Like, I'm not trying to, but it just makes sense. Instead of using jewel, see what happens is then you tie up your jewel, and you're probably, and especially like your crystal. So I remember the biggest reason why I got out of all the pools was I just needed the jewel for what I wanted to. Was buying Gen Zeros and stuff like that. And so I didn't want my jewel tied up. And especially now, you know, you're still getting over 300% APR in those Jade, you know, with the Jewel Bitcoin, Jewel, you know, you're just, I think.
Yeah, pretty much all the Solitaire ones. I looked like 2 days ago, and a couple of them were still up close to 1,000.
Well, right. And those are the Jade pools. And today it dropped down again because it's every Thursday this happens.
Yep.
Okay. And so it just makes sense to me to have my jewel not in with these items, but gold. And that's why, and I'm just bullish on gold. I actually think we finally found a bottom. Now, because of this delay, we are 3 weeks or so out, but it looks like from the pet egg hatching for green eggs and for profession 10 level quests when we actually are going to need the pets. So then Rock's not the only one. Several other guys have not been hatching their eggs. Some have been holding. So like Nine Dwarf or Raph or something, like a lot of the people in the ecosystem have 0 pets. They're just not pet guys. So yet.
Interesting.
And so they've been planning on buying pets or hatching eggs at some point, but they're just not sure. They're just not doing it yet. So they've been holding off. Well, when we actually want the pets, because like we actually need them right now, not just speculation, that's when stuff's going to pop. And so that's what makes me think gold, we've very likely found the bottom. Now with the delay, maybe not, maybe next week or something, gold dumps down even further than it was last night. That's okay. I'm good with holding on to it and buying it even. And I'm good with hatching my eggs right away as soon as I get them. And so also with the liquidity, my pool that is supplied with tiers and gold does not benefit from this trade at all. So I get zero.
You said it does.
0 fees. Because it goes from DFK gold. This gold is sold into Jewel, and then the Jewel buys the tiers. So this is actually benefiting the Jewel tier pool.
And the gold Jewel pool, which
and
you don't have
the
to
gold
those. I got you.
Right. The gold Jewel pool. That's right. And that's what I did. My gold. Now, actually, I did my gold, which is a lot, with Crystal, because I'm kind of short-term bullish on Crystal.
So a little alpha.
Kuvy
King spot on. You want to hit him up 6:56 p.m. Remember, if you have large pools in your gardeners, are also pulling out about 100% APR on top of the regular APR. Eventually, everybody hates the gardeners. They think they're a pain in the butt to the quest with and all that. But in reality, I think they're going to be the best heroes 2-3 years whenever, because
that's right.
You're eventually all that locked jewel and crystal and jade or whatever, it's all going to be gone, right? So you're not going to be able to get that extra APR by mining. You're just going to be mining for gold because that's the only thing that's really worth it.
Right.
But gardeners, you can always hit that LP. So having a bunch of high-level gardeners is a way to make sure you've got a passive income coming in just by questing your gardeners, funding the rest of your gaming.
Yep. And I didn't even factor that. But another thing we're going to want, like when these power-ups come and all these different power-up use case, so we're just not going to want to have our jewel tied up in these pools.
Well, I mean, you say you don't want them tied up in the pools.
We're going to want to
reality, it's a lot more liquid. It's a lot more liquid in the pools than in heroes. You can pull it out anytime you want if it's in an LP. I'm just saying,
instead of putting it like your jewel, for example, with tiers, it makes more sense to me to put your jewel with Bitcoin on Serendale 2.0 and jewel with ETH and jewel with USDT.
Chase those high APRs, get the return while you can.
Yes. And then I didn't even factor, is it actually 100% APR on top of that? Is that really true?
I'm sure that's all going to depend upon, number one, how much you have in the liquidity pool, because it's tiered, right? You have to hit a certain level before you can pull the max.
Yeah.
It's going to count. It's going to matter how good your heroes are at questing against them. And it's going to matter how often you're questing your heroes. So there's a lot of variables in there as to whether or not it's going to be 100% APR. That's going to change.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it also matters on the APR. It does for sure matter on the APR because I've got a big jewel Bitcoin pool. And then I also have a big jade, but it's smaller. I've got a smaller jade Bitcoin pool. My gardeners with jade Bitcoin pool, sometimes, I'll collect the gardeners. I was doing this right at first. This is when the APR was nuts. Okay. And I was getting like 8 jewel and 7 jade just from one quest.
Crushing it.
Smashing it. And that was with less Jade in Bitcoin than I had with Jewel in Bitcoin. So the APR does matter in those. I know that question actually came up somewhere. So that's all the more reason why not to have your Jewel with tiers, but rather to have gold with tiers in my mind. But okay, so now, but if I lower this down, let's just see. If I lower it down to 1,000, it still goes. This is benefiting the gold and Jewel pool, and then it's benefiting the Jewel and tiers pool. Now, if we lower that to 100, still, and now it might take a second to update.
So I think it was Rock that said you can actually jump in the settings there and disable the router so that it does not do that, and it goes straight. It finds the pool that you're using and uses it regardless of the slippage.
Oh, interesting. But you don't want to do that. So we like the automated market maker. Yeah. But my point of saying this is that me providing gold in tiers right now, it's not enough. I'm not providing enough liquidity because I get zero benefit. So I'm not gaining any fees in that pool.
Because they're ignoring your pool. So you got to boost that pool up so that way it doesn't route through Jewel and uses your pool and you get some rewards from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You changed it to 10, it's still going through?
Well, I think actually the automated market maker is weird. You got to maybe if I change it back to Jewel and then I go to gold, man, it's still going that route. Yeah. So the automated market maker is just finding what's cheapest and best for you, which is awesome. That was like a big breakthrough when Uniswap did their 2.0 and then they did their 3.0. Like these automated market makers are the bomb. Yeah.
So now I'm kind of curious if it's actually forcing everything to go back through like Jewel or Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Or
well,
what I'm saying, like even if liquidity is there, it might not use it potentially.
I think it will. So if all of a sudden somebody pulled out all the liquidity out of Jewel, it would reroute it again. I think it's just stuck on this is the best bang for your buck in a really, I think, pretty innovative way.
Oh yeah,
so like gold tier pool just isn't going to do you much good unless but I think what's going to happen organically anyways is there's going to become more and more demand of Jewel with the power ups. So like Christian Peter, I think was in the chat. Maybe I think he's developing a tool, right, where we can do a whole bunch of cool stuff. And we got Born to Die 007, and we got all these other guys doing stuff. Devs are developing, baby, and we're going to want to allot them. We're going to want to be the paid member, like Adventures in DFK, Neindorf. Mm-hmm. You won't have to pay the fee anymore, or whatever. Okay, you'll be able to just allot 500 C Jewel for your membership or something like that. Who knows? I don't know.
And then basically what that does, it takes the proceeds from that locked Jewel and gives it to them. So you basically it's a way to do subscription-based services with blockchain. Because right now there's no way that you could do a subscription because you have to authorize every transaction. So a business can't just come automatically draft it every month. They have to sit there and say, okay, well, your month is expired, so you have to pay again. Go pay. This will get rid of that to where it's all automatically done in the background. As long as you have that locked Jewel committed to it as a power up, you get that benefit and they get the earnings from it. So they're still able to survive and eat. It's important.
And eat. Right. So we got to have these guys making money, right? We got to have Born to Die 007. We got to have Neindorf, these guys, we got to have them making money. Zellies, I bet even like Helper, DFK Helper might be able to do, something. But
all the awesome stuff they're doing, they deserve it. Like they're creating some amazing tools for us, and they're not getting paid for it. Nobody's giving them anything to do that. They're just creating awesomeness for us, the community and the ecosystem. So
well, and the guilds. Like if I want to be a part of Altura, maybe that might be an option to allot some C Jewel.
Right.
Okay. And then the interest. Also, content creators, you know, like if we want to do some special membership for something. Okay. So I'm so bullish on that. Now, I know that Neindorf with Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms, Eric, is actually trying to figure out, I think he's working on adding as a benefit to his program to Adventures in DFK, where we'll actually be able to see what the gardens are doing and like equate an APR to it, like Faulty Poker used to do. He used to do it. Yeah, kudos to the like Wowee. Hey, Wowee, how about this? Did you see? I went live with Wowee the other day for 4 hours.
I was gonna say, Wowee, you realize you are one of the creators, right?
Yeah.
You're making awesome stuff for us.
I know it, man. It's so dope. And I can't, like, literally we could have gone 12 hours easy. Because he was helping me, like what Brown Gent, who's also on fire in fuego, absolutely in fuego with his videos and stuff. He is coming out with all kinds of dope stuff, a guild and all this and that. And, you know, like doing a one-on-one training with people and stuff. Okay. And I think a lot of us are going to want to do that because I get that. And especially in the bull run, that's my, I'll get
I'm happy to do that too. I really need to get that out there.
Yeah.
I should be doing one-on-one training with people.
One-on-one training on even downloading, how to download a MetaMask and how to, you know, all of it, how to, you know, get going with Binance or, you know, Coinbase or something. And so get the money in and then, you know, just walk them through it. Some people are willing to pay for that personalized attention. So a lot of these things, so like the Brown Gent was talking about understanding the concepts. So with Wowee, you know, he was really helping me understand all the conceptually how to do all this. And we literally could go for 12 hours because I'm not a huge gamer. I'm like a sophomore in high school, you know, not thanks to Fight Club. That's just about it. And whereas like Brown Gent and Wowee are like professors in college, professors on all the gaming terminology and actually understanding the depths of the concepts. Whereas like a guy like Wowee or Brown Gent, they just know right off the bat, oh, this is burn and bleed and and like how everything ties together like it's natural breathing. You know, they don't have to. So things like that, we'll be able to allot the C jewel, S jewel to. So then we're not going to want to be putting our jewel in those liquidity pools with the items. So it became cumbersome for me personally to do that with jewel because I'm always like needing the jewel and stuff. And then I'm like, you either got to put more money in the game or something if you want to do that. So I just have been speculating for months that these pools are going to be a lot of the items, like the route will be replaced with from jewel or crystal with gold. Okay.
I know you got to get those pools deep, and without the incentivization with the farming rewards, are they going to get that deep? Because right now you get a lot of rewards because you're the only one in the pool, so you're like getting all the fees, and it's low liquidity, so there's high slippage, which makes more fees from what you're saying. But I mean, how profitable you are, right, is going to you as an individual watching this is going to greatly vary,
right,
based upon you, right?
Which is my argument. So not putting jewel in these pools because it's just more rewarding going in the gardens and having gardeners garden it. I think, as opposed to
you can't garden against the mat pools.
I know. So then so that's why I'm saying you don't want jewel in there. You want your jewel. So you want your gold in there because you can't put your gold in there anyways in a garden.
Yep.
So you might as well. That's why I think what's going to come in the future for anyone wanting to hold your items, you might as well put them in liquidity, but you don't want to do it with jewel. You don't want to tie up your jewel. You want your jewel in the gardens. You want your gold paired with these items. That's what makes sense to me.
That's a very good point. I wonder if we see a big shift as the rewards start winding down to where you're really not making a lot sitting in like the jewel or crystal pools. So at that point, they shift over to the DFK gold. That would make sense.
Yeah. And especially in times when you want to hang on to your items. You're bullish on them.
Mm-hmm.
So
the market's a good time.
In order to make this whole thing work, we got to have liquidity, right? It's so crucial. And so there's a lot of people out there just hanging on to their tiers and stuff. Well,
I am. I'm holding on to all my mats. I haven't really sold any of them.
Yeah, you might as well have them in here. And look, you might think to yourself, well, I don't want to lose my tiers. I don't want to lose my tiers, right? That's what, like, I think Neindorf mentioned that. Well, have I lost any tiers here?
Well, I mean, because you've been fortunate enough, the market has gone up, it sounds like, since you put it in. So you've had illiquid gain. I'm sorry, impermanent. That's what I said. I was saying illiquid, not impermanent. So you've had impermanent gain because the values have gone up over time. I mean, some of it is probably from the fees.
No, I'm saying no. That doesn't matter. So I put in 2,300, literally 2,000. Look, it just went up. I literally put in 2,353 tiers. Now it went down 3 tiers, but I'm up 100 tiers still. I'm still up 100 tiers. And I literally put in 407. I could show you the screenshot when I first deposited it. I literally put in 400. It might have even been like 413 crystal. I think it was 417 crystal. So I'm up about 20 crystal and I'm up 100 tiers, both in that.
Right. But that could be
so that has nothing to do with impermanent loss.
No.
So if I were hanging on
impermanent loss, it's impermanent gains. It's the opposite.
It has nothing to do with either one. If I were just holding on to my tiers during that whole time and holding on to my crystal and doing nothing with it, okay, in this scenario, I would have 100 fewer tiers and I'd have 20 less crystal, period. Now, I have been in pools. So it is, yes, it is possible. Like if tiers pumps to, let's just say tiers pumps to 10 cents because everyone goes and buys up thousands and tens of thousands of tiers. Okay. This could actually go down. I might come away with fewer tiers, but I'll come away with way more crystal. But what's going to happen? So just naturally, if tiers pump up to 10 cents per tier, then you're going to start having people sell and I'll get those tiers back. And all the while you're getting a percentage of fees. And with non-divisible items in the DEX, that's actually getting whole tiers as fees, however many, it's a percentage. And so you're still gaining the tiers and the crystal via the fees in that scenario. So
yeah.
Right. Just 0.3% fees is all.
I mean, right. I will agree that is in effect also, but to rule out impermanent and ignore impermanent gains, I think is folly. Because it is real. It's as real as impermanent losses.
But impermanent loss and impermanent gains, that's only referring to the US dollar value of what you have there. That's only referring to the dollar value. I'm referring to if you're just going to hang on to the items regardless. I'm not talking dollar value. Like for all I know, tiers might be down since December 24th. Tiers might be, when I put this pool in, tiers were at 17 or 1.7 cents. Let's see where they're at.
So yeah, we're on the same page there.
Yeah. If tiers were, so the only point I'm making is if you're going to hang on to it, we might as well put them in there and we might as well not tie up our jewel. Okay.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So as far as speculating on items and everything, what would you sell your gold to Jewel and put that in the gardens? Yeah. So that Rock was making the argument of, am I better off selling the items and going into Jewel and then going into the gardens? Okay. And that might be the case, but if you don't want to sell your items, if you're bullish on the items, like I personally am very bullish on the items over the next month or two. That's why I'm speculating like crazy big brain stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to hang on to these items. You might as well put them in liquidity. Is kind of my point.
I'm hanging on to them as well. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to think on that and sit down and research it a little bit and find out. Like, so what are the fees that are harvested that are put back into your pool? Like, what percentage is that? Do you know?
0.3%, and it tells you that when you provide, and it tells you when you're trading too.
Okay.
So, like, if I come in here and buy, like, if I will just say, for example, gold, and this is the big thing you got to be careful of, is that if you don't want both the items on both sides,
mm-hmm.
You got to be careful with those liquidity pools. Okay, so liquidity provider fee on this trade for a 5 joule into 12,000 gold. So the liquidity providers get,
Gotcha.
This is exactly what they get.
Uh-huh. I had not paid attention to that before.
Yeah.
I stopped at impact.
You did, 10,000 joule and you buy, let's say you want to buy 8 million gold, mm-hmm. which we already said, it's like hundreds of millions of gold is going to be required. Oh,
I want all the gold. What did you do?
Hundreds of millions. Did you just see that?
Yeah, I hate it when MetaMask locks up on you like that. I mean, it's good for security, but it can be frustrating.
Yeah. So, but think of this is sort of my point. I'm so bullish on these items. If I want to buy, let's say I'm a whale and I want to buy 2 million gold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's a big price jump.
Okay.
Almost 14%.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, what did you say the math was to hatch? If I want to hatch 30,000 eggs, because there's 30,000, there's going to be, over the next few months, I think there's going to be 50,000 eggs hatched.
Well, back earlier on when you were saying 36 or 38, I'm pretty sure Rock dropped in there that he estimated at 64,000 eggs.
Okay, so if it's 5,000 gold, that times, let's just say 30,000 eggs get hatched.
It's 150 million.
150 million. Okay, so in green eggs, there's 38,000 eggs. That's just green eggs alone. And that still isn't even going to be near enough pets. That in and of itself is not near enough pets that is compared to the amount of demand there will be. Think on that.
Plus, sorry, my daughter opened the door and had to talk to you real quick.
Yeah, I love it. Plus the gray and
workhorse.
What's that? Oh, workhorse.
1 + 1 = fish.
Oh yeah, we're doing workhorse. You got to start over.
Or 2 + 2. Damn.
2x speed this thing, because so workhorse. Okay, I guess before you do that, this is what I'm guessing is that soon, it's delayed. Maybe we got like 3 weeks, give or take, until green eggs come, and then combat or profession 10 level quest is coming, and then combat is coming. Okay, so we're going to be wanting these pets, and so I'm speculating there's a good 50,000 gardeners that we're going to want to have a pet for, that there's going to be an actual demand for a pet.
Yeah,
and I'm speculating about 100,000 or more, even 100,000 fishers and foragers that's ready, pet ready right now. They have 10 profession level. Okay, and so 100,000. There's going to be 100,000, maybe 80. Let's just say, even if we say 60,000. Okay, there's only 36,000 pets in existence. So to hatch 30,000 eggs, which I'm pretty sure there's more than 30,000 or 40,000 even gray and blue eggs that still need to be hatched. Okay, plus 38,000 green eggs, plus like 26,000 yellow eggs.
But if they haven't been hatched at this point, do you think they're going to get hatched shortly? I mean, I don't think they'll happen before we find out what pets are actually useful for.
Mm-hmm. Well, sure. But when the actual use case comes, which is right around the corner,
I'm hoping they increase the teardrop before then. Otherwise, yeah, I'm with you. We're going to see a massive run on tiers and gold.
Yeah. So many tiers. That's right, Workhorse. So there's a total of 16 million tiers in existence. To hatch all the pets, I mean, just the green eggs alone is over 8 million tiers. To hatch all the blue and gray eggs is another 8 or more, maybe 10 million tiers. Okay, so that actually requires more tiers than is even available. Now, there will be an increased drop rate of tiers in Profession 10 level quests. So that's the answer. Well, if we have Profession 10 level quests, we're going to want a pet.
Facts.
Okay, and then the demand is I think a good 50,000 or more gardeners that are pet ready right now today. There's about 110,000 existing gardeners in existence and 250,000 fishers and foragers. Okay, and out of the 250,000 fishers and foragers, I'm thinking at least 60,000, 80,000, or 100,000 of those fishers or foragers have a 10 profession stat. Okay, and so that means 100,000 pets are going to be in demand, but there's only currently 36,000 pets available alive. There's only 36,000 living pets in total, and maybe another 40,000 gray and blue eggs.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a lot of usage. Sure. I'm excited for it. And it sounds like Rock is too, because it looks like he's squatting on a bunch of tiers.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to change the tier drop rate, but except for Profession 10 level quests. So a lot of people are just going to have to be patiently wait to get more tiers and to get more pets and to get more eggs, because the pet availability has already. So the Mythic, the Brown Gent went in and bought a bunch of, some of the really good pets out there. Oops. Okay. And pet catalog.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought there was like a for sale option. Okay.
There
is. For sale.
Yeah, it's like in the pet catalog. You go to the filter. Yep.
Okay. So sort by price. Okay. So commons are way up, by the way.
Okay. Are they?
Yes. It was down to like 6 crystal.
Wow, man, it makes sense after today's AMA when they said every single hero is going to give you an XP boost. So even if it's only a single, whatever skill, and a single star, that's going to give a hero some XP boost.
Yeah, the rare floor is a good double. Like it was around 30 crystal not too long ago. You just buy this one, now the floor becomes 70. And look, it just quickly changes.
Mm-hmm.
You buy up a few. Someone comes in and buys up 10 pets, and now the floor is 80. Because guys like me, 1,700 heroes. How many heroes do you have?
Me? Not that many. I only maybe like 400, something like that. 500. I don't know. I'd have to go and look.
Yeah.
I've got a few different accounts I'd have to add up. I know on my main account, I've got like 250.
Yeah. A few weeks ago, the Brown Gent bought a triple mythic. I thought he said for like, didn't he say 1,100 or 1,200 crystal? Wow. And that was a triple mythic.
That's huge.
So now here's the floor of triple mythic is 34.20. That's tripled.
Winner.
Yeah. So I did the math just now. If you had around 100,000 tiers paired with 74,000 Joule on Crystalvale, you gain around $4 a day. Interesting.
With how much in there?
Right. So that's kind of my point too. In Rock's point.
So what do I have to put in there for that? Oh, 100K tiers with 7. Wow.
I wonder how he came to that number though.
I'm guessing.
And so that's kind of my point, is if you're just holding on to the items, put up the liquidity, but not with Joule. Put the Joule in the gardens with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, with USDT, with USDC, with Avalanche, and then have your gardeners gardening and go that route with the Joule. If you're hanging on to, I mean, I bet you have a lot of items, don't you, Ogre? If you've been holding,
got a few.
You've been holding the whole time, you probably have a lot. You could throw those in liquidity. Might as well.
I think I went through and purged at one point, but let's see here. Yeah, I only have like 1.6K tiers, not that many considering all the questing I do. Let's see. Let's go to bloaters. How many bloaters I got? Where are my bloaters?
Huh?
Where are my bloaters? I can't find my bloaters. Oh, there they are. 4,000 bloaters.
Okay. So nothing crazy.
So not ridiculous amounts.
Yeah. I put up quite a lot of like ice bloaters and milk and ragweed. We got how much ragweed? I think it was like 20,000 ragweed or something I put up.
That's a very good point. I wasn't botting, so I didn't earn as much over the time as a lot of people did. I do now have one account botting.
Yeah, you got Helper.
Farmers out to pasture that I don't really utilize, and I'm just botting them. But they also on that account, I'm selling everything off.
Oh, you are?
Crystal and Joule. Just on that one account.
Okay.
Well, not everything. I'm keeping the runes, the tiers, and the eggs. Everything else, all the mats. So in that one account are getting sold.
Yeah. And Helper will even help create auto liquidity for you. I had Zellies on the other night, baby. It was awesome. Or last night.
Yeah, it was last night. I need to go back and check that one out.
Yeah, baby. Okay. So
bots are a savior. I wouldn't be playing this game if it wasn't for bots. I would have quit. I did quit for a while. Like it became overwhelming because I had so many, and you know what I'm talking about. Go back to Grady's early videos. Like when you start getting up there and you got like 200-300 pet or heroes, it's time consuming. That's like an all day. It's a job to go through and do all that. And in the early days when you had like ridiculous earnings and Joule was at $20, it was worth it. I don't know that I'd do that now. You need automation at this point if you're going to grow in the game. And I think they finally realized that, which is why they backed off like the whole anti-bot stature, and now they're incorporating the automation into the game. So that'll be interesting to see what happens to the bots and the community developers once they automate that and bring that in game.
Yeah. So Eric, you see this comment here? He says, so Rock's point was, it seems like the way to go is just sell everything unless you think it's going to 2x plus in the short term and go into the garden pools. And I think, that was probably the right move. But now that I think these items and materials are I think the bottom is coming if it's not already hit.
So right. I think it completely depends upon where we are in the market cycle. I still think we got another leg to go down, which is why I'm selling off a lot of my stuff right now to include Joule and Crystal so that I can come back in at a lower price.
Yeah.
And I'm not suggesting everybody should do that. I fortunately have like a passive stream. So every day I've got a little bit more there. So if I'm wrong, it's not going to ruin my day and I'm not going to get mad at anybody. I'm still going to be able to do what I'm doing. And I can still speculate a little bit that way. But I think that if you're on the way down, it's good to sell it off because you can then come back in later and kind of flip it a little bit. But you're taking a risk if you do that because we are close to the bottom if we're not there, right? I think at most one more leg and we may not see that. We might have already seen the bottom.
Yeah.
Cross the fingers. That'd be awesome. I certainly hope so.
Right.
Because if we have another leg down, that means like DCG or something big in the bigger market. Like that's a black swan event. I don't see us going down unless we have a big black swan event. But I could see one of those coming in 23. I mean, the whole fiat system is completely unstable and on the verge of crashing globally. So, it's highly likely that we're going to see another Black Swan event.
I mean, DCG could be it, but it could also be priced in. So all we've seen is Bitcoin pump. Now, since we started the video, Bitcoin is down like $200 per Bitcoin, but it's still like way up. And ETH is too
0.4%. Yep. I mean, it's not that far down. It's a little bit.
Right.
But I mean, things don't go up forever. Always up is not a real thing. Yeah. Over a long enough time period, maybe, but not in days and hours for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So with tiers, like I've mentioned several times, I bought 100,000 tiers in August when Hubert said the drop rate of tiers in Crystalvale is reduced by 80%. So 1/5 the drop rate approximately of what it used to be. And so, but it just, the market didn't change. And over time I ended up selling it. I was buying Gen Zeros but since then, I think tiers have something like 50x, but at least like 10 or 20x, because I bought those 100,000 tiers for like, I remember just being blown away. It just seemed like it wasn't that much at all. Like, I want to almost say it was like less. It felt like, I want to say in my mind, it was like 100 joule or less.
Well, a lot of the initial bots auto sold everything. So there was a lot of sell pressure early on, and the only thing we were using them for was summoning. So there wasn't a lot of use case. So there was nothing holding it up as everybody was selling into it. So yeah, it definitely crashed and stayed low for a while there.
Yeah.
But now that we have use case, it's coming back up. So think about it, people, as the team builds more and implements use case for these other materials, we're going to see the same thing happen.
Yeah.
Most likely.
I wish I could tell you exactly what I paid for those tiers, because it could have been like 140 joule. I honestly don't remember.
Sorry, I just read Eric's.
But I actually think it was less than 100 joule, but maybe it was way more. But I just remember being blown away with how cheap it was to buy 100,000 tiers. It was like nothing. It was like, I want to say it was like 79 joule. I bought 100,000 tiers. Now those 100,000 tiers are worth 15,000 joule.
Well, I mean, that's the nature of the beast, right? That's why everybody looks at crypto and goes, "Ooh, it's a Ponzi scheme," because it's all on chain and they can see very clearly it's a business that in the beginning, the early investors tend to make money over time as the business grows, attracts more people. Yeah, you can simplify it down. It sounds like a Ponzi scheme, but there's a big difference. There's still value, right? It's not an illegal thing. And if you could take every single financial system in the world to include banking and governments and call them Ponzi schemes by that definition. It just doesn't really fit. People use Ponzi scheme very loosely in this area, like they use rug. Like, oh my gosh, I hate that word now. Like, I don't like rugs anymore because, well, not that I ever did, but people overuse that. It's like anytime the price goes down, it's like, oh, rug.
I know.
We 2x overnight. It didn't do it. It's a rug.
I didn't get a good night. I got rugged. We say rug for everything now.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, man. So shout out to Coolio, baby, who's phenomenal dude with DFK Helper and Zellies.
100%. Man, they're all awesome. I haven't seen a single person in this chat that I don't like.
I know, right? We got some awesome people. This is like the best dog on earth. Okay. What's going on? Yeah. Okay. So then on to
top down right after Christmas.
Hey, and we've got the Gen Zero raffle coming up here in 25 minutes. But on the pets, okay, Ogre's Twitter, right? In the description below, baby. Okay. So Brown Gent had a couple things, and we were all in there chatting with Hubert today. So it is possible, by the way, it might be that green eggs come before PvP. Before Profession 10 level quests. That might happen. But before, they had said like several weeks ago that Profession 10 level quests were like right around the corner, and it might come before the green eggs or right at the same time. They weren't sure at the time. Do you guys remember that AMA? That was like a month ago. And we thought it was like right around the corner. They thought it was right around the corner. Yeah, Mosh, you got to start this over. Such good alpha stuff going on. So, and I need to get Workhorse also on this stream. So he's just my hero. Let's go. Okay. So with pets, so the Brown Gent said from today's DeFi Kingdoms AMA, Hubert Cumberdale, baby. Here's what he put together. Pet variant. The pet variants. Yeah, so there is a
this
change.
We were talking about earlier. Yeah. And I was listening to the AMA while I was reading this. It was funny. Like you sent that to me and I pulled up Discord and I was like right at that point in the AMA, which is why I was like immediately responding. It was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds like, well, they even said it in the AMA, right? I mean, it's games like this, they're so big and it's just like the never ending story, right? So what they planned on day one, they're already kind of moving on past that and they're growing still. So it's a little fluid. And I kind of like that because they have to be able to react to the market and react to regulation as it comes down. They can't, if they put out a 5-year roadmap, we would expect them to stick to it. And they would have to stick to it. I mean, because people would get upset if they changed it and then all of a sudden value went down. They blame DFK Kingdoms. Oh, well, if you stuck with the roadmap, you told me when I bought it, blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't work like that, right? The market changes. The regulations are going to change. So they have to stay kind of fluid and not plan too far out. And I think that's very smart of them, honestly.
Yeah. So what is this? Sorry for your loss, Ogre.
Oh, you had your pup up and I kind of mumbled under my breath and I went, oh, I actually put my pup down on the 27th of December this past year.
How close were you?
12 years. Like I rescued her when she was around 1 to 2 years old in 2010 and had to hand feed her chicken nuggets with her medicine because that's all she was willing to eat. Like she was on the verge of death when I rescued her.
Oh man.
Yeah. She had a great life and she had some really amazing time with my kids.
I'm sorry I missed that.
Oh, it's all good, man. You were all up in your fields with your dog, and I don't blame you for it. They're amazing creatures.
Yeah, and my brain has been spinning a million miles an hour. So then I miss, or I'm reading or something, and then I miss stuff sometimes.
No worries, man. No worries.
Yeah. So this is what kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. Okay, so I will also answer this here. Pet bonuses come in 3 tiers.
Yep.
A 1-star bonus could be one of many different possibilities. So what he's saying is not all 1-star bonuses are the same. Not all 2-star bonuses are the same as another 2-star bonus. And not all 3-star bonuses are the same as another 3-star bonus.
Right. So to clarify that, my understanding is essentially they kind of threw it down initially and they've realized since then that, hey, we want a few more skill trees that we don't have yet. So what they're going to do is say, like, let's take the combat bonus. Let's say you got a 2-star combat bonus. Just like with the eggs, once you attach that to your hero, it might morph into one of like 3 different bonuses. You might get like, say, a 30% attack bonus or a 15% speed bonus or 15% damage reduction, like anything to do with combat. They're going to have several different little skill trees that could morph into. That is good because right now all of those pets are fungible. And technically a fear coming with regulation is that anything fungible like that could be called a security. So by doing this, they make them all unique and they're no longer fungible.
Oh,
I'm sorry. They are fungible now. They're not fungible. They're closer to NFTs. They're basically non-fungible at that point.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So like 1-star might have built into it one of 3 of those different things. Or it might have like a questing bonus star. It might be a questing bonus to tiers on 1-star, or milkweed or, or whatever items. And each star is actually different. So my question is, is that already built into the NFT that we can look at, where we can look at that? Does anybody know that?
What the hell's going on? Sorry. I tried doing a message in there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
I
you're
was
good.
trying to text a
I do the
response in
same
there,
thing. I'm
and it
like
went
even worse.
wonky on me.
I'm even worse, man. I space out because I'm such a one-track mind guy.
Well, you're doing that, so I'm letting you talk, and I figured I'd pay attention to the chat while you're
Yeah.
going on your
Yeah. So do we know that if these are built into the NFTs already? All the different stars are different. Can we like view that somehow?
I don't think so right now. It sounds like it's something that just happened.
Or they're gonna like work it into.
So from what they said today, I mean, they mentioned that they had to change it because there are a couple of crafting like trees that they hadn't thought of and didn't include in there. So like building trees and magical like enhancement trees. They mentioned a few other ones that they want to add in there to the pets that don't exist today, right? So, but the only way to really do that is either re-roll all the pets now or like do something where when you attach it to you, I mean, this seems to be the most logical way to me is when you attach that pet to your hero, it will then automatically randomly select one of the available skills within that category. So like if you have a 3-star, you have a 3-star foraging and a 3-star combat, each of those you'll get one of the several different 3-star foraging abilities that are available and one of the 3-star combat abilities that are available.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. So do you think that I'm on the stars on the card? So you think they're like re-inputting data into those cards?
No, they'll use it in my guesstimation. Right? I'm speculating here, of course.
Okay.
But I'm guessing that like if you've got a 3-star foraging, there'll be a list of like 2, 3, 4 different skills that specific 3-star foraging might turn into, right? And nothing else can turn into that. A 2-star won't turn into that, or a 2-star might turn into that, but with a lower percentage, right? So like maybe there's only 3 different skill trees for foraging, and then the difference between 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star is the percent boost you get from that pet for that skill.
Okay.
That's kind of the way it works in my head from what I heard today in the AMA and the text or the tweet you shared there.
What Brown Gent said here, your chance of getting one of those tiers is driven by the rarity of the pet, but that's when it's born. I think once the bonus exists, the rarity of the pet no longer matters when it comes to those bonuses. So that's like at birth. So there are some rare pets that get really lucky on their rolls that end up with 2 sets of 3-star bonuses. Do you know that? Like I have some of the, or maybe not 2 sets of 3-star bonus, just to get 1 set of a 3-star bonus on a rare pet is pretty rare, let alone 2. Aside from the experience bonus provided, those pets would have the same power potential as a legendary pet with 2 3-star bonuses. But if I use foraging bonuses as an example, there are 10 or 11 bonus possibilities for a 3-star bonus. And most bonuses also have a range of power potential. So one bonus could have between a 70% to a 90% increase to something. So 2 pets having the exact same bonus will not be very common. Interesting.
You got me curious now. I'm looking at my pets, seeing if I got like 3 stars. I got a few with 3 and 2 in the rares.
Yeah.
They're mostly 2 and 2 or 2 and 1.
Right. Or even 1 and 1 or
There's a few of them, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there are so many more things to talk about.
We could do this for hours, but
forever.
I like where you're going with that because I want to eat. Or my kids have already eaten. That's part of what they were doing. They were popping in. Like I ordered pizza when I realized I wasn't going to be able to make dinner tonight because we're doing this and then rolling right into the summon.
Right.
And I didn't even make the AMA today, which so I definitely got to get my DFK in tonight.
Yes. So we got 15 minutes till the raffle. Okay. So what if they lower the amount of tiers required for hatching and summoning? Then we won't need that many. See, I think JSM Russo, I think what they're doing is they're increasing the tier drop rate in Profession 10 level quests. I think that's just going to have to work itself out through time. But in the meantime, we're going to have a mega crunch of liquidity incoming. So I don't think they're just going to all of a sudden change that.
You think they'll just up the liquidity to make it so that people can buy more without massive slippage?
Well, but there's not even enough tiers in existence to hatch all the eggs. And there's not enough eggs in existence to provide enough pets for the demand.
Definitely going to be interesting. And on that note, I'm going to go feed my face.
Yes. Okay. So I think after the Gen Zero reroll or the Gen Zero raffle coming in 15 minutes. Good luck to everyone. I think after that, I might go live with Eric, who's been in the chat, or maybe I don't know if he confirmed that, or I might go live with somebody like Wowie.
Wowie. Wow. Well, Mythic said that Wowie was coming on their stream after the summoning.
What's that?
Mythic jumped in there after you mentioned having him on and said that Wowie's jumping on their stream after the summoning.
Oh, that's right. They're going live to the Mythic squad tonight. Well, I won't go live on top of them for sure. I might just jump on their channel. Okay.
Alrighty. Well, I'm going to go eat real quick so that I can get back on. And if anybody wants me to jump on their chat, hell yeah, we'll go live.
All right.
Play around while we're watching the raffle. I'm down.
All right. Love you guys. Crypto Grady and Ogre out.
Much love, fam. Appreciate all of you. Grady, keep